Hey guys, Brandon with Whiskey River. I'm here to explain runout and grain orientation on axe handles. This is a question that we get often on our social media channels, so just wanted to touch base and show you guys what this is all about. So I drew here the side profile of an axe and then the top profile looking down from the spine, and then also the end to explain grain orientation. So grain is the growth rings in a tree. Each year that growth ring develops, and that's what we're looking at when we look at grain runout. So ideally you would want that growth ring to start at the base of the handle and move its way all the way to the top in one straight line. Now sometimes that diverts off as you're looking straight down, and that's what we call runout. So that's the grain hooking to the side like that. Now when you look at the side profile of an axe handle, that looks like arrows like this. Okay? The more severe the runout, the tighter these arrows are, and the less runout there is, the further those arrows are spread apart. Now this adds to premature breaking in a handle. It splits out the side when you're using it as a splitting axe, and even on hatchets it's just premature to breakage there. So 15 inches and below runout, is arguably not really an issue because you don't have that striking force. But on axe handles longer than that, that is for sure a strength issue. Alright guys, so now that you've seen it on the whiteboard and what it looks drawn, let's look at how it looks on a handle. This is a hatchet handle. This is those arrows that I'm talking about. This is super tight. You can see it there. It looks really cool when it's oiled up. But if you turn the handle this way, you can see how the grain runs out sideways. And that's how you get that breaking in a handle. Another thing I want to touch base on is grain orientation. So we're going to go over grain orientation in a second, but as you see on this, it's vertical. It is parallel with the bit. It looks great, but as you look at down that handle, you see the runout. So if you're only looking at a handle and judging it by grain orientation, this would be a very bad idea with this handle. So this is a perfect example of a handle that does not meet our quality standards. I just dug through the bin of seconds, and this handle is our 36-inch Adirondack. It's got very, very bad runout in it. So this didn't pass our inspection. Great grain orientation, but as you can see those arrows when you look at the side, and then when you look at the spine, the grain runs off the side. This would be a handle that's very, very much not premium and would be prone to premature breaking. And this right here would be an example of a handle that is premium. So you can see on the side, you don't see any of those arrows besides where the handle gets wider here and here. But it's all one growth year and straight. You can see on the spine, that grain runs from the base of the handle all the way up to the top of the eye. And that's what you're looking for. Alright, so now on to grain orientation. This is looking at the end of a handle, and this is straight up and down, so your axe bit would be in line with that line. Premium in today's standard would be 30° or less in each direction, which is this. So the grain can run like that or like this. No more extreme. So if it's running this way, 90 degrees off of center, that would not be good. But 30 degrees and less each direction from center is what you're looking for as far as premium grain. Now this again is a lot more of a concern on a handle that's longer. We say for grain orientation, anything that's over 19 inches is the tighter towards center, the better. on a longer handle, that's where you get it splitting out the bottom when you're splitting wood or you're felling a tree, and the handle breaks. That's oftentimes prone to breakage because of that grain orientation not being correct. I wish I had an example of a bad grain orientation to show you guys, but honestly they get burned in our wood stove as soon as we get them in. So, but I do have an example of pretty much perfect grain orientation. You can see it's vertical, runs parallel with the bit. What would be bad is if it ran this way, or like we talked about, is less than 30 degrees off of center in any way. Or sorry, more than 30 degrees off of center in either way. So this is a great example, and it also has perfect grain orientation as you come up all the way at the top of the eye. So it's crucial to look at both ends. So in summary, I want to go over what we consider a premium handle. This is both grain orientation and run out. Less than 30 degree end grain as you're looking at the end of the handle, and then minimal to no run out. So run out is going to be inevitable. It's a natural growth of a tree, right? Grain never runs perfectly straight, or rarely runs perfectly straight, but we want to keep that run out to a minimum. So this Hoffman handle is pretty much the perfect example of it. This is the 28-inch curved, full-sized replacement handle that we get through Liam Hoffman. So you can see that vertical grain, and even though it has arrows, right, it quickly fixes itself and comes back. And you're gonna have arrows where the handle is thicker right here because it's jumping up that growth ring in the tree. So the handle gets wider here, right, and it gets wider up here. So this is what I believe to be a perfect example of premium grain orientation with minimal run out.